Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Marcus Aurelius. It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. Marcus Aurelius. No great thing is created suddenly, any more than a bunch of grapes or a fig. If you tell me that you desire a fig, I answer that there must be time. Let it first blossom, then bear fruit, then ripen. Epictetus. It's not because things are difficult that we dare not venture. It's because we dare not venture that they are difficult. Seneca. You live as if you were destined to live forever. No thought of your frailty ever enters your head. Of how much time has already gone by you take no heed. You squander time as if you drew from a full and abundant supply, though all the while that day which you bestow on some person or thing is perhaps your last. Seneca. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. If you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your own judgment about it, and it is in your power to wipe out this judgment now. Marcus Aurelius. Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. Seneca. Books are the training weights of the mind. They are very helpful, but it would be a bad mistake to suppose that one has made progress simply by having internalized their contents. Epictetus. Let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life. Let us postpone nothing. Let us balance life's books each day. The one who puts the finishing touches on their life each day is never short of time. Marcus Aurelius. Stoicism is not so much an ethic as it is a paradoxical recipe. For Stoicism is about the domestication of emotions, not their elimination. A Stoic is someone who transforms fear into prudence, pain into transformation, mistakes into initiation, and desire into undertaking. A Stoic is a Buddhist with attitude. The average man is a conformist, accepting miseries and disasters with the stoicism of a cow. Standing in the rain, you are irritated by every rub. How will your mirror be polished? Having the fewest wants, I am nearest to the gods. Appearances to the mind are of four kinds. Things either are what they appear to be, or they neither are nor appear to be, or they are, and do not appear to be, or they are not, and yet appear to be. Rightly to aim in all these cases is the wise man's task. Be a master of the mind, not mastered by the mind. Difficulty shows what men are. Therefore, when a difficulty falls upon you, remember that God, like a trainer of wrestlers, has matched you with a rough young man. Why? So that you may become an Olympic conqueror, but it is not accomplished without swaya. Don't just say you have read books. Show that through them, you have learned to think better, to be a more discriminating and reflective person. You become what you give your attention to. If you yourself don't choose what thoughts and images you expose yourself to, someone else will. What upsets people is not things themselves, but their judgments about these things. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. Show me someone for whom success is less important than the manner in which it is achieved, of concern for the means rather than the ends of their actions. I want to see him. This is the person I have looked for a long time, the true genius. Epictetus. It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Epictetus. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Epictetus. If you hear that someone is speaking ill of you, instead of trying to defend yourself, you should say, "He obviously does not know me very well, since there are so many other faults he could have mentioned." Epictetus. If anyone tells you that a certain person speaks ill of you, do not make excuses about what is said of you, but answer, "He was ignorant of my other faults, else he would not have mentioned these alone." Epictetus. How long are you going to wait before you demand the best for yourself? Epictetus. He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not. but rejoices for those which he has. Epictetus, give yourself fully to your endeavors. Decide to construct your character through excellent actions and determine to pay the price of a worthy goal. The trials you encounter will introduce you to your strengths. Epictetus, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to. Heroes are heroes because they are heroic in behavior, not because they won or lost. If you ever start taking things too seriously, just remember that we are talking monkeys on an organic spaceship flying through the universe. No human thing is of serious importance. The universe has been around for a long time, and the universe is a very, very large place. If you'll study even the smallest bit of science, for all practical purposes, we are nothing. What are the secret of success? One-word answer. Rational. True rewards, wealth, knowledge, love, fitness, and equanimity come from ignoring others and improving ourselves. Stoic that one wants nothing to be different, not forward, not backwards, not in all eternity. Not merely bear what is necessary, still less conceal it, but love it. Stoic, I love to go and see all the things I am happy without. Socrates, think of the life you have lived until now as over and as a dead man. See what's left as a bonus and live it according to nature. Love the hand that fate deals you and play it as your own. For what could be more fitting? Marcus Aurelius. I have often wondered how it is that every man loves himself more than all the rest of men, but yet sets less value on his own opinion of himself than on the opinion of others. Marcus Aurelius. We should always be asking ourselves, is this something that is or is not in my control? Epictetus. Understand what you can control and what you can't. Forget about the things you can't control and put that energy into the things you can control. The chief task in life is simply this: to identify and separate matters so that I can say clearly to myself, which are externals not under my control, and which have to do with the choices I actually control. Where then do I look for good and evil, not to uncontrollable externals but within myself to the choices that are my own? Take a lyre player. He's relaxed when he performs alone, but put him in front of an audience and it's a different story, no matter how beautiful his voice or how well he plays the instrument. Why? Because he not only wants to perform well, he wants to be well received, and the latter lies outside his control. Stoicism teaches how to keep a calm and rational mind no matter what happens to you, and it helps you understand and focus on what you can control and not worry about, and accept what you can't control. Short-term thinking makes people desperate, ungenerous, impulsive. Long-term thinking makes people calm, gracious, controlled. Self-control is strength. Right thought is mastery. Calmness is power. Just keep in mind, the more we value things outside our control, the less control we have. Epictetus. If you are easily provoked, you are easily controlled. A rational person can find peace by cultivating indifference to things outside of their control. Anything or anyone capable of angering you becomes your master. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. Curb your desire. Don't set your heart on so many things and you will get what you need. Don't be the person that looks at the weather report the night before to decide what you are going to do the next day. Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms: to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. Never let people who choose the path of least resistance steer you away from your chosen path of most resistance, peace. It does not mean to be in a place where there is no noise, trouble, or hard work. It means to be in the midst of those things and still be calm in your heart. Success is based off of your willingness to work your ass off no matter what obstacles are in your way. Stoicism, understood properly, is a cure for a disease. The disease in question is the anxiety, grief, fear, and various other negative emotions that plague humans and prevent them from experiencing a joyful existence. The world might call you a pessimist. Who cares? It's far better to seem like a downer than to be blindsided or caught off guard. Ryan Holiday. This is an era of universal hyperbole. Every day delivers a new banality disguised as an emergency. Distrust your first reactions. Begin with the assumption that you are overreacting. Conserve your emotional energies for your real concerns. What we fear doing most is usually what we most need to do. His is our big mistake, to think we look forward to death. Most of death is already gone. Whatever time has passed is owned by death. Seneca. He who fears death will never do anything worth of a man who is alive. Seneca. You will eventually die, and the world will keep moving. I have to die. If it is now, well then I die now. If later, then now I will take my lunch, since the hour for lunch has arrived. And dying, I will tend to later. A nation is born stoic, and dies Epicurean. Great times are great softeners. Ryan Holiday. You are scared of dying, and, tell me, is the kind of life you lead really any different than being dead? Seneca. Wisdom lies in cheerful acceptance of whatever life throws at you. While we wait for life, life passes. Seneca. When someone is properly grounded in life, they shouldn't have to look outside themselves for approval. Epictetus. We must take a higher view of all things and bear with them more easily. It better becomes a man to scoff at life than to lament over it. Seneca. Many people believe that everything must be pleasurable in life. The ultimate power in life is to be completely self-reliant, completely yourself. Take a deep breath. You're living the dream life of hundreds of millions who are below poverty line people. You have some of the best comforts available to you. You live better than kings did 100 years ago. What the fuck are you so worried and stressed out all the time about? Sometimes life hits you in the head with a brick. Don't lose faith. Sometimes in life, we must fight not only without fear, but also without hope. Now is the time to get serious about living your ideals. How long can you afford to put off who you really want to be? Your nobler self cannot wait any longer. Put your principles into practice, now. Stop the excuses and the procrastination. This is your life. Decide to be extraordinary and do what you need to do. Now live your life like you're the hero in your movie. Life is very short and anxious for those who forget the past, neglect the present, and fear the future. Seneca. Life is full of hostility, some of it overt, some clever and underhanded. It is a storm that will test you unceasingly. Don't wait for calm waters that may not arrive. Derive purpose from resilience. Learn to sail the raging sea. Life is a shipwreck, but we must not forget to sing in the lifeboats in life. It doesn't matter what happens to you or where you came from. It matters what you do, with what happens, and what you've been given. Ryan Holiday. I judge you unfortunate because you have never lived through misfortune. You have passed through life without an opponent. No one can ever know what you are capable of, not even you. Seneca. Don't seek for everything to happen as you wish it would, but rather wish that everything happens as it actually will. Then your life will flow well. Don't get mad at others because life is kicking your ass. Begin at once to live and count each separate day as a separate life. Seneca. Be so busy building your own life that other people's bullshit is of no concern. As long as you live, keep learning how to live. How do you move forward? 1 step at a time. How do you lose weight? 1 kilo at a time. How do you write a book? 1 page at a time. How do you build a relationship? 1 day at a time. In a world obsessed with speed, never forget things of real worth and value take time. Sometimes saying fuck it at the right time can be a very powerful thing. It tells your mind that you are willing to do whatever it takes to get to the other side. We are bacteria to the universe. We're basically monkeys on a small rock, orbiting a small backward star in a huge galaxy, which is in an absolutely staggeringly gigantic universe, which itself may be part of a gigantic multiverse. Stoic. We are quick to forget that just being alive is an extraordinary piece of good luck, a remote event, a chance occurrence of monstrous proportions. We're not really here that long, and we don't really matter that much. Nothing that we do lasts. Eventually you will fade. Your works will fade. Your children will fade. Your thoughts will fade. These planets will fade. This sun will fade. It will all be gone. The wise man is neither raised up by prosperity nor cast down by adversity, for always he has striven to rely predominantly on himself and to derive all joy from himself. Seneca. Make the mind tougher by exposing it to adversity. Cling tooth and nail to the following rule: not to give in to adversity, never to trust prosperity, and always take full note of Fortune's habit of behaving just as she pleases, treating her as if she were actually going to do everything it is in her power to do. Whatever you have been expecting for some time comes as less of a shock. Seneca. Missing a train is only painful if you run after it. Likewise, not matching the idea of success others expect from you is only painful if that's what you are seeking. Move toward resistance and pain. The truth is that our finest moments are most likely to occur when we are feeling deeply uncomfortable, unhappy, or unfulfilled, for it is only in such moments, propelled by our discomfort, that we are likely to step out of our ruts and start searching for different ways or truer answers. I'm happy as hell, but I'm also real. Happy didn't get me here, but going through hell to get to where I'm at made me happy. Desire is a contract that you make with yourself to be unhappy until you get what you want. True happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future, not to amuse ourselves with either hopes or fears, but to rest satisfied with what we have, which is sufficient, for he that is so wants nothing. Seneca. To make a goal of comfort or happiness has never appealed to me. A system of ethics built on this basis would be sufficient only for a herd of cattle. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Marcus Aurelius. You can change it, you can accept it, or you can leave it. What is not a good option is to sit around wishing you would change it but not changing it, wishing you would leave it but not leaving it and not accepting it. When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. What you're supposed to do when you don't like a thing is change it. If you can't change it, change the way you think about it. Don't complain. Nothing endures, but if it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. There are two of the most immediately useful thoughts you will dip into. First, that things cannot touch the mind. They are external and inert. Anxieties can only come from your internal judgment. Second, that all these things you see will change almost as you look at them, and then will be no more. Constantly bring to mind all that you, yourself, have already seen changed. The universe is change. Life is judgment. Marcus Aurelius. The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. Marcus Aurelius. Effortless stoicism will come when you have dismantled everything in your mind that produces reactions. Your progress is not achieved by luck or accident, but by working on yourself daily. It is not daily increase, but daily decrease. Hack away the unessential. The closer to the source, the less wastage there is. To be stoic is not to be emotionless, but to remain unaffected by your emotions. Always resignation and acceptance. Always prudence and honor and duty. An hour of deeply contemplating your own moral failures will leave you feeling much more forgiving of the foibles of others. Difficulty is what wakes up the genius. Intelligence consists in ignoring things that are irrelevant. Earn to detach yourself from the chaos of the battlefield. So let me say thank you for giving me your valuable time. Now I want to ask you a favor. I'm asking you to make a commitment to yourself right now. And that commitment is simple. Do not skip this video under any circumstances. Not now, not later, because you're different from the rest. You're an exception, and as an exception, you need to act like one. You need to treat yourself differently and invest your time and attention in things that matter. Until we have begun to go without them, we fail to realize how unnecessary many things are. We've been using them not because we needed them, but because we had them.